Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today I thought I'd do something that's more for the men, but I've made it inclusive for everyone. So even though this kit is specifically aimed at the guys, the information is for everyone. And if you really did love the products, they are for everyone too. So Murdock London were kind enough to send me the How to Give Good Style kit. So I thought what I'd do is just chat you through how to use some of the products, but very much in the vein of the changing seasons and why it is so handy to have these different styles of products available, so that when it gets a little bit drier and there's less humidity in the air, we can look after our hair and just make it as easy as possible to see us through into spring. So in this kit, which I think could be good for a lot of Christmas presents ideas that are coming up, because we're actually filming, it's mid-November, so you might be thinking about someone that you know is into their hair, or they like to look good but they like to keep it simple. So these are some ideas, and I like them again because there's a reason why you're using these products too, because they can really help with some irritating things that you need to contend with in autumn and winter. So before I get started as well, just to let you see, this is the tin that it comes in, and your products are actually in the tissue paper within the tin. So I think that's a really nice idea. That's just how it looks when it's open here and you've got your 3 products in it. So that's just to let you see how the tin comes. So the first thing that I thought is something that does irritate quite a lot of us is when your hair starts to dry out because of the humidity. So in autumn and winter, what we tend to find is we're outside in the cold air and it can make your hair quite brittle and dry it out. Then we come into the house, and for most of us it's full-blown central heating. That also dries your hair out. Then you might go into the car, but then we put on the heating in the car, dries your hair out. Then we might be back outside, cold air, same. Sometimes you're on buses and trains, again they can be really hot environments, they can have the heating on. So your hair is really getting it from every angle. It really is starting to dry out, and that can make it quite brittle and fragile. So something such as the matte mud, it's got kaolin in it, it's got vitamin E, so you're starting to nourish your hair. So in addition to being able to style it quite quickly, you're also knowing that you're actually putting something in that's going to help you when your hair really is working against those elements, and it is the extremes of temperature. The good thing is as well that this is non-shine and it's got that firm hold. So if anyone was into something like this, then you can bear in mind that a product like this, and I believe this is a bestseller on the website too, is going to tackle the issue, make your hair look good, but it's also going to be giving you the nourishment, and it's going to be looking after your hair and giving it a little bit of protection too. And just to have a look how it is here, that's how your matte mud looks. And again, all I can feel that I need to do is just apply a little bit of pressure and I can start to get the product on. And obviously we use different products on our hair at different times, but this to me feels very similar to the type of products I would use on my hair too. So that's an idea for the matte mud. Maybe think about using that when you're looking for a styling product, but you're also looking for protection from those extremes of temperature. So the next element that you have to contend with when you're getting into autumn and winter is that the extreme of temperature and the lack of humidity really does start to dry your hair out, and in addition to that you can start to get that brittleness, and you can really start to see the dullness in your hair. It might not behave the way you wanted it to. Maybe your hair is reasonably shiny the rest of the year, and in the winter you just lose that. So I think a good solution could be something like the vintage pomade, because this is really moisturising. It can make your hair look slick while it's actually protecting it from the elements too. What I also think is very handy about it is that it's water soluble, so you really can't overuse it and then think, right, what am I going to do here? I've used too much. You can actually remove it very easily just by washing your hair, or even if you need to just pop a little bit of water in your hair just to get it the way that you like. It's not something that you're going to find that you're contending against. So I would say that if you really do find that the lack of humidity in the air really does start to cause a problem, then maybe think about using the pomade. It's really good for those classic looks too. If you do like a little bit of sleekness, if you like to see that little bit of shine in your hair, it could be a good look. And you can see here again, I bet you don't need much of this at all. Yeah, so with the matte mud, you had a firm pressure to get your product out, but with this, I really don't need too much at all. And I love the scent in the products. They've all got the same similar scent, and it's a very nice light fragrance. It's really pleasant rather, it's not overpowering. The way that I think about the pomade as well is if I applied it to facial moisturiser. With the lack of humidity, if my face was drying out, I would think about using products that had an increase in moisture. So I think about the hair in the same way, and again, not being a hairdresser, I always think, okay, if the hair needs some moisture, then you could use a product such as this to get the result that you want, but also inject some moisture into that process too. And it's a really nice slick product. It's got that slip to it, but again, it's not greasy. So that's another suggestion if you really are struggling with that dryness and the hair starting to become brittle. The last product I want to talk to you about today is the sea salt spray. Now, I think that's such a common product, we see it everywhere, so I think if someone got this and you were possibly near their bathroom and you saw it there, I think male or female, you would probably just want to try it anyway, because it's, again, it smells really good and it's so easy to use and so effective. So I think in the winter, a sea salt spray could be excellent for when you're wearing hats. Sometimes you're just wearing something that you just pop over your head again because it might be snowing, it might be extremes of temperature, it might be really breezy, but just protecting your hair, even just because it's cold, never mind snow. When you take that hat off, your hair can be flat, depending on what the hat was made of. If it's wool, you could have static there. So the sea salt spray can just revive your hair in a sec, just a few sprays, and you can just move your hair about, get the texture back in it. Quite a lot of us use sea salt sprays in the summer to give the texture, but just think about it in the winter if it is a hat, or maybe you've had the hood up on your jacket, and just by taking it down, your hair's not quite the same as when you left the house. Just a couple of sprays, reactivate, remove your hair about, get it the way you want it to be. It's so easy. The other thing is though, in an ideal world, and it's not for all of us, we would avoid using too many extremes of heat on our hair. So we wouldn't use styling such as hair dryers, tongs, things like that. You could let your hair air dry, but that's not always possible, and some people's hair does not like air dry and it can go quite frizzy. But the sea salt spray could possibly be a good idea for that. So instead of using the heat appliances, just let the hair air dry, give it a bit of a rest, but just pop some sea salt spray in just to give it a little bit of texture and movement while it's doing that. And again, it's so easy to use, and I think the packaging is just so stylish, and again, it smells lovely. And I don't know if you can see this, but this is how easy it is to use, and it's again a fine mist. It's not as if it's just directing a lot of the product just singly at you. It's a fine mist that just gently covers the hair, and then if you want to, you can get right in there, long, short, any length of hair, you can just get in and start styling it. So that's just some basic ideas for looking after your hair as we move into autumn, winter, and just some of the things that we do need to contend with. And thanks again to Murdock London for providing this, because the products are absolutely stunning. It's no wonder that they have so many bestsellers and they dispatch all over the world, because it really is a nice independent brand that, again, I just wanted to share with you, because if we don't talk about them, they might be hidden gems. So it's our job to make sure that we chat on the channel about all these great brands. So as always, leave me a comment, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.